Hi, morning everyone. It's Grainger. This is your update as promised on the issues that we are continuing to face in relation to the coronavirus. I'm going to start by saying a massive thank you to everybody that viewed the vlog last week. We were overwhelmed by the number of people that had clicked on and watched it, hopefully all the way through, although it was a little long. But hopefully that has helped to give you an update on where we're at across the business in relation to making sure that our service can continue and that we can support you and the people that we care for to get through this particularly difficult time. So a big thank you to you all for viewing the vlog, and I hope you found it useful. We did have some really great questions as a result of the vlog, and I'm going to hope to cover some of them in this vlog. But also we are sending out a briefing today via email that will explain what we're doing, particularly in relation to pay for the different situations that we may find ourselves in. So it's absolutely vital that you are logging onto your emails, that you are getting the updates and you're reading through that information, because if you're better informed, then you've got a better opportunity to ask any questions around situations that you may be unsure of. So please do, if you can't get onto your emails at the moment, contact your line manager and get the support from them so you can keep up to date in more detail than I'm able to provide you with during this vlog. So I'll just give you a quick summary of the week. Last week we talked a lot about not having PPE. That's been a national problem for adult social care and for the NHS. So we've not been on our own really in relation to that challenge. But the quality team now have done a reconciliation of what equipment people have currently got across all of the properties, and we've also had a look at the level of need of individuals in the properties so we can gauge how much stock people need of the essential personal protective equipment that we usually use when delivering personal care. And that stock will now be collected in where there is too much in a property and redistributed, with the aim that by the end of next week every property will have enough stock to be able to provide the service there for at least 4 weeks. On top of that, as we know, there are additional items of PPE that the government are recommending that we use where someone may be showing signs of the virus. And there's been a change in that during the week in relation to that equipment, and we are now up to date with what the government have said, and we are placing orders as we speak to make sure that we've got the correct equipment and we're giving you the correct advice on when to use that to keep yourself and the person that we're supporting safe. So that stock will be coming out and that information will be coming out to you so that you're aware of what you need to do to protect yourself when you're delivering the frontline services. So keep an eye out on your emails for that information coming through. We also talked last week around people struggling to get money and struggling to be able to get the food that they need for their weekly household needs really. So Michelle and a team of people have been ringing around all of the properties and services to find out whether or not they're able to access money and able to get the amount of food that they need for that particular service for a week, for a minimum of a week. And so we've now got that information. We're really pleased that actually there weren't as many properties struggling as we thought there would be. Most people have got arrangements in place and the staff had worked with the family and the people living in the services to make sure that they could get what they needed. So an amazing effort has gone in there, which has meant that the amount of work we've had to continue with that has been less than we anticipated. So Michelle and the team now are just looking at those individual cases, and we're looking at how we can ensure that nobody goes without the basic provisions over the next few weeks whilst we try to break the back of this virus. So that's really positive. We've also been working with a team of volunteers that have said that they're happy to do whatever they can, whether that's distributing food packages, helping to distribute supplies of PPE, or ringing and befriending people that are concerned, and rightly concerned, about the current situation and just need somebody to talk to. So Michelle's rounded up a group of people, giving them all of the information and support that they need, and those plans are being put in place as we speak, which again is really positive. We talked last week around the closure of the day services, and we've now managed to look at everybody's needs, still look at the people that were attending the day services and where they need any additional support in the community or their families need support during this difficult time. The day services team have put those plans in place, and now their hours have been redeployed into the supported living and nursing care homes so that they can make sure that we are filling the gaps where we know we've got people who unfortunately either them or their families have been affected and are unable to come to work because of the coronavirus. So that's all gone really, really well. And I have to say, myself and the team, when we have our weekly catch-up, and myself with the executive management team, are absolutely blown away by how we've managed to get through this and get to really what is a positive point. When I'm talking to colleagues who also work in this sector, they don't see anywhere as near ahead of the game as what we are, and are probably struggling a little bit more than we are now. I have to say that that's full credit to all of you. You are all going over and above, doing more than what we could have anticipated to make sure that our services are continuing. I have to say, I'm not shocked at all. I know how dedicated you all are, and I know the work that you do every day, and I can't thank you all enough for that support. And that's why we want to make sure that everything we can do in the back of office gives you the tools and the support that you need to be able to continue during this difficult time. So a massive thank you. Just going on to obviously some of the bigger stuff, which I'm just going to briefly go through, but I do need to urge you that this briefing in relation to sickness pay, when sickness pay counts, the new word that's being bandied around, the staff retention and furlough scheme, all of that information is coming out in a detailed document today. So I urge you all again, make sure you can log on to your emails, make sure you get this information. That will help you to ask the right questions for your particular situation. So do get onto your emails. But just to give you a brief update, the government now are introducing something called the staff retention scheme, which means for lots of organisations, probably a bit more affected than us because their work is reduced to a point where they cannot sustain their workforce and people's jobs are at risk. And the government scheme is to make sure that people aren't made redundant and lose their job completely, as obviously we're hoping that fairly soon we'll start to get back to normal, to business as normal. So the staff retention team, the staff retention scheme in relation to EMH care and support will help us in situations where staff can't work, particularly where they fall into the extremely vulnerable or vulnerable categories, where they're being either asked to shield or to self-isolate in order to protect themselves from the virus. And we're looking at, for people who fall into that situation and potentially some other situations, applying the furloughing scheme. So furloughing just means that we are asking you to not come to work during that period, and during that period we are applying to the government for a grant that would pay us 80% of your salary. So as you know, it would be really difficult for us to financially be able to pay all of you and continue to pay people to come in and cover the jobs that you do. So this scheme would enable us to be able to claim the 80% from the government, which would then in normal circumstances would be passed on to you. So you'd be asked to stay at home and you would get 80% of your salary. We're not happy with that and we wanted to do more than that. So we would then receive the 80% from the government, but we would ensure that we were paying you your full contracted salary for that period of time. So you would get whatever your hours were, your full-time or part-time hours, you would get that pay because we would make the difference up between the government furlough scheme and you getting your average, getting your normal salary. So that's in the briefing and you can read more on that and ask questions if you need to. We did have a lot of questions around how that would work and how sickness pay will work for relief staff. And again, we've updated that in the vlog, but basically there is a calculation that we've been advised by the government to use for any staff that we may ask to furlough, which means you calculate relief staff's pay over two different periods of time. One is over the last couple of months of work and the other one is over the last 12 months. Whichever one of those comes out to the highest figure, that's what we would assume would be your average hours of work, and that's what we would pay you when you are not able to come to work. And also last week, as you know, we announced that we would be paying people time and a quarter for any additional hours that they pick up. And that's what we would apply again for relief workers. So if your average hours that you work is 20 hours a week, any hours that you do over and above that during this difficult period of time would be paid at time and a quarter. So again, this information will come out to you via email. So it's really important that you are logging on and checking your emails on a regular basis so that you are as up to date as you can be with the situation surrounding coronavirus. So there's a lot of positive things that have gone on. We, as I say, we are overwhelmed with the fact that we are not struggling as much as many of our colleagues are across the sector. And again, that's down to the hard work and dedication that you're all putting in. Every single team now has got into a pattern of working. You're all doing an amazing job to continue delivering the services to the people we support. And if the back office, the staff that work in the offices to make sure that the business runs from a different perspective, can do anything at all, it's important you let us know. If you've got ideas or suggestions, we want to hear them. The more we work together as a collective group, then the better that this service can be as a result of this. But I do want to again say a massive thank you to you all. We will continue to do the vlogs. If there's anything that you particularly want to hear about, any topic that you think we've not covered, then do continue to send your emails through. Your feedback is absolutely vital and much appreciated, because sometimes you focus on one thing and everybody else is thinking about something different. So do send them through. I'm more than happy to answer any questions, more than happy to do anything that we can to make sure that you're supported during this difficult period. So I'm going to end there because I think last week's vlog was a little bit too long, and I'm going to wish you all well. Hope you all stay well, do everything you can to keep yourselves safe, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you very much.